Tigers into it that was going to be a pretty rough life. Cutting grass in the heat, 60 hours a week, snow removal at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I sat with my mom and I said, Mom, I don't know what to do. I don't have a degree. I really can't work for somebody else. You guys have always been your own bosses. And my mom was nice enough in 2002, manager in her day spa. And I took the position. I didn't think as a kid that I would grow up to run a spa. But, right, heat in the winter. So Mom started paying me a pretty decent salary, and everything was going very well. And a year after I was there, Oprah Winfrey actually just got very lucky and actually had it into the newspapers and to the TV ads, and we had an amazing business. It was booming. My mom had an amazing year in 2005. She actually grossed $1 million in revenue that year. It was the first time ever. Here's a single mom who was married at 14, had me at 16, and all her dreams are coming true. She bought this huge house, her dream car, and guess what happened next year, 2006? The recession hit. The recession hit, and we were pretty much in shock, guys. We went from 18 employees down to 3, and I started noticing my mom was having a hard time paying. I've always been ambitious. I've tried a lot of things in my life. Nothing really ever paid off. So in 2006, I decided, at the time I was actually a bodybuilder. I won the state title in PA 2008 in New York, 2005 in Jersey. You're not going to ever let me win that title. I hear you guys are not going to let me from PA come in here and win that title. I started DVD to help people get in shape. I started a t-shirt company. I also started a skincare line, but the recession wouldn't let me succeed in any of those markets because they're not necessities. It's nothing that you need. So in 2008, after a few years of bad revenue with the company, I decided to go back to college at 33 years old. It was very tough. I failed all the tests that I took, so I had to go into prerequisite classes, English and algebra, and I did it then. I got through it, and in 2011, I actually graduated with high honors. And I got accepted into Albright University at 36 years old. And I know I look young, right? My mom walks into the office on June 14th and says, I have something I have to show you. She said, my girlfriend's been asking me to see this presentation for 5 months, and I just keep avoiding her. But finally I went, and oh my God, this is amazing. You have to look at it. And I don't know what I was doing. I was actually sitting at the desk, and I had college yoga. I needed 1 credit for Albright to get in there. So I was like, 8 o'clock in the morning, yoga, I had nothing to do with girls wearing stretch pants, I promise. That's maybe a little bit, okay. So, but I was looking for a yoga mat. When I showed up for the class, the teacher said, you have to have a mat. Yeah. She said, you better have a mat tomorrow when you come to class. So Mom's like, it's this thing with energy, and it's $300, only $300 bucks. And I'm like, listen, I don't know what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to buy, but if they want me to do it, they're going to pay me to do it, okay? So can you stop? And I was a little bit cocky with her. My mom has always had a hard time convincing me to do things, and I should listen to her. So the next morning after twisting my arm, I decided that I would take a look at the opportunity. And as I got halfway through it, I realized that America was deregulating the energy sector, and I had no clue. And I know that America had deregulated the banking industries and the airlines, and they had deregulated Bell Atlantic, and I have Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint. And when they deregulated industry, a lot of money can be made. Unfortunately for us, we missed all those opportunities, right? I didn't get a piece of the dot-com boom. I was too young. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So the fact that I was alive during the largest transfer of wealth possibly, and the fact that it was going to happen with or without me, I knew that I had to take a chance. For the cost of the PlayStation, I had to take a chance to see if I could possibly change my life. And guys, it was amazing. I ran with it immediately. To tell you what had happened to me is in the 11th month, I had enough income where I actually sold my landscape company. After all those years doing it, it was a bittersweet day. A young gentleman, through an associate in Ignite, wanted to buy my business. And him and his parents drove up from Philly, and they actually bought my business, and I saw my truck and my stuff drive away. And it was sad. I was happy and I was sad. I was a little nervous watching that go away, but I believed in Ignite so much, and I believed in the people that were in this business that I knew I was doing the right thing. And then 3 months later, I would tons of emails from people saying, hey, I appreciate you coming out here and you're changing our lives, and I appreciate I've been able to pay for my kids' school, and I've been able to go on vacation to Disney World for the first time with my kids, and I've been able to do this and I've been able to do that. And guys, I realized that I had a power, that it was something that you don't get a chance to do in life, where you can change a lot of people's lives. And in September of 2012, I decided to retire from the family business. I decided that my passion was to commit as many years, I don't know how many years it's going to be, but I committed to the people, to help other people change their lives. I think it was what God wanted me to do. So in September, I officially fired my mom as my boss, and I started running with Ignite full time. Okay, but to tell you though, as I was running with Ignite prior to leaving the family spa, I was running the spa. I was running a landscape company. I was in school. I did 1 more year of my bachelor's degree, trying to get a bachelor's degree, and ended up stopping in May of 2012. So I did 1 more year of school while I was doing Ignite. I did 2 businesses. We had a baby in the house. My brother had a son, and the mom actually, after about 5 months, disappeared. And here we had a baby in the house. So I had a lot of stuff going on. I was still able to do Ignite. The income has been amazing. It has changed my life. It has allowed me to do things for my family. It has allowed me to have the dream car. It has allowed me to not worry about anything. Guys, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Every day is a Saturday. I don't have that feeling in my stomach on Sundays that I know the next day is Monday. And that's really what this business is about. In fact, on the 28th of February, it was my nephew's 2-year-old birthday, and I was able to stay home with him. I didn't have to take him to daycare. I got to see him on his 2nd birthday. 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had that happen. I would have been in work all day. And I would have came home at night, he would have been asleep. And I even texted Rob and said, Rob, I just want to thank you so much because of you and this opportunity. I was able to experience an opportunity that most likely I wouldn't have. So that's really how it's changed my life. I spoke to my step-grandfather on Christmas Eve, and he told me that he worked for the Beckham Steel for about 28 years, and his pension is a little over $1,100. So he spent 28 years in a steel mill, and I spent 9 months at Panera Bread showing his business plan. I tied my grandfather's pension. Okay, that's amazing. A lot of us don't realize that we're on the 40-40-40 plan. We're working 40 hours a week for 40 years for 40% of our pay. And I have a buddy of mine, Frank. He's 68 years old. You know what he does? He works at Ross. He does Ross Security at 68 years old. Why? Because that $1,000 a month ain't cutting it. So we have to realize that if we don't do something now, we're leaving it to the government to take care of us. And for those of you like myself, you can go home and ask your parents, ask your grandparents, ask your great aunts, ask your great uncles. What kind of income do they have? What kind of pension do they have? What kind of savings do they have? Hey guys, I remember thinking about the income that I made in 5 years working with my mom prior to Ignite. I was making about $35,000 a year. That's a lot of money when you add it up in 5 years. But guess what? I had $1,000 in the bank. I was lucky. What was going to change 5 years later? Nothing was going to change. So this is an opportunity to change your life financially and leave a legacy. I have a proverb on the back of my car where it says, a good man leaves a legacy behind to his children. And this is an opportunity to do that. To ask people, do you know who Henry Ford's, do you know who your great-great-grandfather is? And you're probably going to say no. You know why? Because he didn't leave anything. Okay? So Henry Ford's great-great-great, they know who he is, okay? So that is basically what happened to me now. I'd like to spend the next 5 or 10 minutes to tell you guys, I think some of the key traits that made me successful in this business. I'm going to give you guys 9 traits. If you have a pen and paper, I would definitely write them down. A lot of these traits were instilled in me through my bodybuilding career. I'm also going to give you one trait that causes a lot of us to fail once we hit success. The first thing is, guys, most importantly, you have to believe in yourself. Okay, Muhammad Ali is a great example of that. This guy convinced himself he was the greatest. I think he probably told himself every day in the mirror he was the greatest. And I believed in myself even when others did not believe in me. Guys, to get to where I am, trust me, I got some bruises. I got some black and blues, I remember doing a meeting and somebody saying to me, you know what, let's call Tommy. He's a scam artist. He'll love this business. And, and I went through a lot of that stuff, and now I just drive out with a $70,000 Lexus and go, honk, 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 hey, how you doing? You gotta believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. And when you believe in yourself, you just know it. There's a feeling in there. I remember when I was 16, I told myself I wanted to be a state bodybuilding champion. Guys, it took me 17 years to do that. Now, it took me 8 years to get the guts to even attempt to do it. And then 8 years of losing every single year I would lose. 1 year I lost by a point, and finally in 2008 I won it. So you got to believe in yourself. Second thing is you want to go the extra mile. My name, George, stands for farmer. It's not too exciting. I wish it was like gladiator or something. My name's farmer. Going the extra mile. What does that mean? Let's use farmers for example. Look at a farmer. What does he do? He plants seeds, right? Hoping he'll get crops. And then what happens? He does get crops. And then nature actually rewards him by selling the crops. And then he gets a lot more seeds because of that for next year. So, but he's doing that. He's going the extra mile prior to being paid. So I go the extra mile. When I went to Norwich, New York to try to start something with Ignite, I went out there. I didn't know what was going to happen. I went out there. When I go to when I do webinars and 5 people show up, or when I do a meeting and there's nobody there, there's cancellations. I go to a meeting and there's no prospects. That's going the extra mile, guys. If you want to be successful in any venture, you have to go the extra mile. You got to do what other people aren't willing to do. Okay, successful people do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. So that's important. So you have. Believe in yourself, go the extra mile. Also have faith. Again, let's use a farmer's example. When they plant a seed, it's faith, right? You can go out there and you can water that seed every day. I water my seed every day. It's faith. I can't control the weather. I can't control the sunshine. I can't control the bugs trying to eat that crop. All I can do is have faith and hope that that will grow. And it's the same thing with this business. When I drive to New Jersey every week for my team out there, or when I drive to Pittsburgh 5 hours, I have faith. I have faith that it's going to work. I have faith that somebody's going to join the business. I have faith that somebody's going to want to do it. And I don't give up, guys. Okay. The other thing is to form a mental alliance with somebody. It's very important. You know, when I was doing that on my own, I'm considered a quack, right? When there's two of us, and when I was two of us, it was two quacks, right? Now we have.
I'm sorry, dude. He wants to say hi.
What's up, little man? So what I was saying to you is when we have a master alliance, guys, a mental alliance. There's a couple guys in the room. Actually, he's one of them, the guy with the kid. Him and there's Phil and Carol. These are senior directors of mine. They're senior directors of my SD code. I was able to connect with them, and I was able to form an alliance, kind of like Henry Ford did with his wife. And Henry Ford was laughed at when he tried to invent the horseless carriage. His relatives and his friends all laughed at him and said, "You know what? That ain't going to work. People are supposed to walk. They're supposed to ride horses. They're not supposed to drive in cars." But it was his wife who said, "You know what, honey? If you believe in that, you got to do it." So I found guys like Phil. Actually, Phil found me, and Darren found me, and his beautiful wife. And we formed an alliance, guys. Because one of us is a crack, two of us is a crack. When we have three, it's a crowd. And then we start having a movement, right? There's a movement in this room, okay? And it's okay. I don't want to be considered normal. You know why? Because I don't want a normal job. I don't want a normal vacation. I don't want a normal car. I don't want my kids to go to normal school. So that's important. Find somebody that you connect with, that you can bounce ideas off of. A lot of you might know Michael Freeman. I call this guy every night driving back from New Jersey, and we sit and we bounce ideas off each other. We believe in each other. So if I'm down, he gets me up. If he's down, I get him up. Okay, that's important too. You've got to have a pleasing personality. Okay, now when I'm hungry, I'm not pleasing. I will be honest with you. My team calls me hangry. And guys, you know what? I didn't do a presentation for 91 days. As a bodybuilder, I was extremely hungry. I did not want to talk to anybody. Okay, I didn't eat enough. But you have to have a pleasing personality. You know, a lot of people are calling me and say, "Hey, can you come and do a guest appearance? Can you come in and meet my team?" There's a lot of EDs, but why are they calling me? Because I have a pleasing personality. When you get to a point in this business and you're helping other people, if you don't have a pleasing personality, you're only going to get so far. That technicality of how smart you are and what you've done before only can go so far. Who lifted me to the top? It wasn't Presley. It wasn't Rob Schneider. It was the people in this room that are on my team that were below me. So when you're likable, guess what? You're lifted a lot easier, okay, a lot faster, okay? Personal initiative is an important one. You shouldn't have to be a crowbar to set appointments. You should be able to, on your own, call your sponsor, call your upline, tell them that you need help, tell them that you want to set a meeting, tell them that you want some advice. So personal initiative is very important. Asking yourself, what do I want in life? What do I want in life? Ask yourself that question, and then find the answer. How you're going to get it, guys? Okay. What else? Positive mental attitude. This is a great one. A lot of people are negative. I've had people say, "Oh, I'm not SD yet." No, you're MD. Be positive about what you have, not about what you don't have, okay? Also, find the positive in other people. A lot of times we have an ability to find the negative in people. So find the positive in others. Adjust to people. Guys, not everybody wants to be a top earner. Some people just want to make $100 a month. Some people want to make $500 a month. It's okay. If that's what they want, let them have that, okay? Don't try to change them. Be positive. Two more things that are important. One is self-discipline. There's times where I drive 90 minutes, and guess what? I show up, and there's nobody there. Now, what am I going to do? Yell at my associate? No, I can't do that. You know why? They'll never set another appointment again. There's times where my associates say to me, "Hey, when's the webinar? Or what's the phone number for the webinar?" It's the same phone number for the last 3 months. It's the same time, same channel. It's in the email I send every Monday. Now I can see when you guys are not listening to me or not reading my emails. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but now it shows up green if you're reading my emails, and it's still orange in the little chat box if you're not reading my emails. But if you read it once, it turns green. I'll never know again. So, guys, self-discipline is important. There's times where I could definitely lose my temper in this business. And there's times, so I always try to be self-disciplined. You have to ask yourself, are you worthy of being duplicated? Because people are looking at you. We're not perfect. I make mistakes too. There's times where I do. I'm not a very forgiving team if I do make a mistake. And the last thing, guys, is enthusiasm is the most important thing. If I say to you guys right now, I have some great news. What just happened? Everybody stopped playing with their phone and looked at me, right? Okay. Great, good news. A smile, a handshake. When you say to somebody, I have great news, it feels now. It promoted enthusiasm in the room. You guys had a pleasing feeling. I got a pleasing feeling. Guys, a lot of this business is attitude, okay? There's been people that have just joined my business because they liked my personality. I was enthusiastic. I was excitable, okay? I smiled. I shook their hand. My handshake wasn't dead, okay? There's nothing worse than a dead hand. Now, girls, it's okay because you guys don't know how to, like, you're scared of the guy. It's fine. But now, and those are the traits that I believe are important to be successful in this business, okay? To go from the average associate to a top associate. You have to work on those traits. That's what I believe in. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, guys, when you do get to another level, there's something called the upper limit issue, which is basically, and there's the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling is when somebody gets to a certain point, and now they know everything. You can't tell them anything. They don't want to learn anything else. They don't want to listen. They want to do all the talking. So it's important, even myself. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody in this room that's a director that could probably help me in my business. Having that ability to still be open-minded, to not think you know it all. Okay, it's very important. And that's a thing that a lot of people get. They get to the point where, my mom one time told me, you can't argue with success. That's what she told me. And then I researched that, and I found out that that's the worst thing you can possibly say, because what made you successful 5 years ago will not make you successful 5 years later. Times change. Okay? And you have to change with those times. And also, another thing that I find is that as children, we're taught to, we can't have our cake and eat it too. You can't have everything you want, right? We're taught that as kids. So as we get older, when we have success, when we have something going really good, I notice a lot of us sabotage ourselves. It's a weird feeling to be okay. And I've done this a lot too. My life was going too good for too long. I had to do something. If I got a promotion at work, I came home, I had to fight with my girlfriend because it made me feel in control, right? If I